if this is your first time on the channel, my name is Fumilola. I am a double board certified pharmacist, a mom of two, a wife, a sister, a daughter, and I'm on a self journey. And this is my 2025 video wrap. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. This is probably going to be one of the first couple of videos for 2026. I am doing my whole 2025 in a wrap, 2025 in retrospect, and I realized that almost all the goals I set for 2025, I didn't do it, and the ones I didn't set, they did themselves. But you know, this is just me reminiscing and me being grateful to God, because a lot of the things that I thought I was going to achieve, I didn't achieve. But I'm alive, I'm fabulous. So, I'm grateful to God and for all the additions, for all the subtractions. So let's talk about it. So I had certain goals at the start of the year. My first goal was I wanted to lose weight. Maybe I'll read the goals to you guys and I'll now come back to which one I did, which one I didn't do, and what I didn't plan for that actually did happen. So I wanted to lose weight. I wanted to apply for my undergrad program. I really want to do clinical psychology. It's been something I've wanted to do maybe for the past almost, I'd say 5 years now. If I had applied the first time that I wanted to do it, I would have been almost done now. But they said, oh, you need to get an undergrad degree. I was like, I want to start again. No, blah, blah. So for this year, I made up my mind I would apply for it. I was going to finish working on my realtor license. I'm trying to get licensed to be a realtor in Alberta. I wanted to pass my diabetes educator exam. It was on my list this year. To work out 5 days a week, to read one book per week, whether it's a fantasy novel or a finance literature, whatever, one book per week. I wanted to increase my videos to 2 per week on YouTube, read my Bible every day, pray of course, teach my kids to self-regulate. I had a savings goal and I was going to introduce affirmation to the kids. And I had a no yelling or minimal yelling this year. I wanted to speak more positively to myself, to my environment, to my kids. I wanted to get better with scheduling for the kids and for myself and to teach them how to draw a proper schedule. I wanted to be more patient with my husband, to be more communicating, to be less firstborn-ish. I wanted to speak up for myself more and not allow people to walk all over me in my bid to be nice or people please. This was on my list this year. I was going to learn to say no more times. And I had prayed for 2 of my friends. One, that she would have a baby this year because she had a miscarriage last year and it was really bad. And the second was that she was going to get engaged or get married this year. So there was my list. I'm sure I have other things on. I couldn't find the book where I wrote down because I usually write my goals at the start of the year. But this pretty much summarizes most of it, right? My spirituality, my personal whatever, my prayer for my friends, education and self-development. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that pretty much summarizes. So this list that I've read to you people now, I'll now go right again and tell you which one work, which one no work. I wanted to lose weight. Obviously, girl was looking fab. So yeah, that one worked. Apply for my undergrad program. I've applied. They have not answered me. So I don't know whether to put that one in the yes or in the no column because it's not my power at this point. Finish my realtor license. No, it's so bulky. I even got somebody to do an audiobook of it for me. I haven't listened to it. I'll get to that, sure. It's on my list for next year. And if I didn't achieve it last year or this year, I'll achieve it next year or 1 year, sure. Then pass my CD. I failed my CD, you guys. Woefully. I was going through it. When I did the exam, I failed my CD. Anyway, so no, I'm not a licensed diabetes educator. I have the knowledge, but I didn't pass the exam. So can I ask me a question? Maybe next year I will give it another try. But this year it didn't do. Work out 5 days a week. This worked out for a while, and then towards the end of the year, it kind of last dance. I'll explain that to you guys later. So I think I'll give that a 50-ish pass mark. Read a book per week. This also worked out for a while. I was doing a lot of audiobooks when it came to all those finance books and books. Man gets bored with those things. And then I was also reading fantasy fiction books. So have I read up to 52 books this year? I would say yes, actually. I would say yes. So that one's a good one. I would say yes, because there are weeks when I do 2 books, weeks when I do 1 book, and maybe not 52 share. So let's give ourselves 50% or 75% pass mark on that. I'll track it better next year. Um, increase videos to 2 per week on YouTube. I think I averaged 1 video per week on YouTube. I also wanted to increase my viewership to 1,000, but that didn't work out. But in the last couple of weeks, I have been preoccupied with something I'm going to tell you guys about later. And then I was at maybe 210 subscribers. I was like, nobody's watching my channel anymore. But I was still put out the videos. And then I go back, guys, and I see 315 subscribers. I'm like, people subscribed. Oh my God. And I wasn't even hustling. I was so excited. So even though I didn't reach 1,000, I still reached 300. Thank you. Thank you. The 300 people that have subscribed to the channel. Thank you guys so much. Anyway, and then read my Bible daily. No, that didn't work. I worked out for the first couple of months, and daily devotion with the kids worked out for the first couple of months as well, but it's been a little bit downhill towards the end of the year. That's something I'll get to put on next year's list. Next one is teaching my kids to self-regulate. I have a short story for you guys here. So I told my son he wanted a certain subscription for something, Prodigy or the other. I told him, okay, if you want Prodigy, I'll pay for it for you. For the last whatever subscription you wanted, when I paid, you didn't use it because you didn't have the time. So go write me a schedule and explain to me how you're going to use your Prodigy. And then he wrote the schedule, but the schedule was haphazard. I mean, he's 9. And so I was like, okay, if this is your schedule, that's fine. We'll have to practice for 2 weeks to see that it works before we pay for the Prodigy. He said, no, that's not what I said. I'm changing the rules. And he was starting to bother on being rude, and I was so mad at him, but I didn't have the energy to get up to, chakara him or whatever. I just tore up the schedule and I threw it, and I said, go build and go it away. And I said, Mommy, I spent time building that. And when I asked him to go and bring me another schedule, do you know what this boy told me? He said, you tore my schedule. I said, yeah, because I was mad at you. He said, so you were mad at me and you took it out on a piece of paper? You guys, I was humbled. Because this time when my child is telling me I'm not regulated, because that's me what that boy just said. I shall use African mother to say, you made me mad and I was king. So you took it out on a piece of paper, mommy. And if you know my child, you know that thing said can be painful. Anyway, so I'm teaching them more self-regulation. I'm praying that God helps me to regulate myself more as well. And then be more patient with my husband. So listen to him more. Be less jumping into the middle of the argument when he's trying to say something, because then he shuts down. I think I did well on that this year. I was more conscious when we're talking about something to allow him to finish his train of thought and finish what he wanted to say before I jumped in with my 10,000, thoughts into the conversation. So I think I'll give myself, I'm not going to rate myself, but I'm going to rate myself on that, maybe 70% pass mark. This is Tisha. I don't know. Maybe I think the man is the best person to answer the question. Then speak up more for myself, not allow people to walk all over me. Actually, I think I just avoided people. This year more, For somebody who's very direct speaking and people always saying you say your mind and all that. There are people that I love and I still find it difficult to just say hoo-ha when they're hurting me or whatever too. And so I let them have their way most of the time, which a lot of time is not convenient for me. But I think this year I just learned to avoid them a bit, because and then learn to say no. Yeah, I said more no's this year, the chagrin of some people, but that's their business. And then my friends that I prayed for, by the time this video comes out, the first one, the baby will be a couple of months old, so praise Master Jesus for that. And the second one will be engaged, maybe even married. So that prayer worked. God, and the funny thing is that of all the things that I listed, that one was the one that was the least in my control, right? And that's the one that God did. I'm just like, this kind God. I also had another prayer actually that I prayed for myself. I wanted a baby. I've been trying to get pregnant with my third baby. For about this would be almost 3 years now. I took on my IUD in September of 2022 or 23. Can't remember now. Yeah, but it's been a while, right? And you know, fingers crossed. So, so instead, what were the things that I didn't plan for that actually did happen this year? Okay, I got gastric sleeve surgery. I don't know if this video will come out before the video on the gastric sleeve surgery or after, but yeah, I got weight loss surgery. And if you guys go back to my old videos and you compare the fabulosity of this beautiful girl, you would see some changes, even though number two thing that I didn't know was going to happen was I'm also having a baby. By the time this video is out, baby will probably be here and be like maybe like a month or so. Baby's gonna be born this December. This video is getting made 3 days before the baby's born. I'd given up because I mean I tried and tried for like 2 years ish, nothing happened. So I just went and got my gastric sleeve, guys, and then I got pregnant. So yeah, having a baby. There's another whole video about that later. I also learned my own limitations. Because after that surgery, I realized that body no be firewood. You need to chill. Yeah. So and then I saved so much content ideas. And I had zero energy to record them. Like my book of ridiculously good ideas is full. Like quite literally, it's full. But I had zero energy to record it. But I think it still went okay. I redecorated. I wasn't planning to. I was like, oh, I'm just gonna change the chair. I'm just gonna because I redecorated the whole house, and it pained me because if I realized I was going to redecorate the whole house, I would have made a nice video for you guys before, and then a nice video after. I'm like, oh my god, see. So now everything is different. Like the whole house looks different. I started small. My kids' room. I said, oh, I want to return this bunk bed to switch it for another one. Then the guest room. Oh, I want to change the curtains and change the whatever. I put the drawer in. Then the living room. I changed the whole sofa. It wasn't the plan. Dining tables, chairs. I knew what's happening. The whole house looks different. The accent chairs are gone. They changed them. So yeah, that's another thing I didn't plan for, and then I did. Learning how to use AI, something that this year brought to me against my wish, but we are upon it. I'm also trying to learn how to edit small, so that I don't inundate my editor with all sorts. Because there are things in my head sometimes I want to do, and by the time I think about the fact that I need to explain it, and I was like, well, I'm not doing it again. So this year also something that I've always done, but I did more this year is I appreciated my circle of friends more, my table members, like I call them. They are phenomenal, and the older that we grow, the more grateful that I am for my circle, and the more I am grateful to God because I couldn't have picked better for myself. They're amazing, like they're amazing girls. I love you guys so much. So that was basically my 2025 wrapped. In 2026 we go again. We'll set the goals, we'll write them down, we'll modify them, we'll go over them again and again, and I'm hopeful that it will be better. So one of the things that clicked to me mainly is that my year didn't look like I envisaged, but I'm grateful to God for it. Like I would never have, if anybody had given me paper and a Bible and said, "Oh, draw your 2025 the way you think it will go." This is not the way I would have thought it would go. I mean, I had so many things I wanted to do and blah blah blah, but I'm still grateful to God supremely for it. So setting boundaries, saving goals, better health. Oh, I forgot to talk about my saving goals. I actually did hit my saving goals either in assets or in liquidity. Liquidity is not zero actually, but I managed to stick them in assets in places. So I think that worked out well. And then I think I will finish with one win that I had in this year was the weight loss surgery that I did. It took a lot of courage, and yeah, I think that was one struggle that I had this year was realizing that I don't have superhuman strength. Yes, I know. My friends, when they see it, they're gonna laugh at me because there's so many things I thought I would get done, and I struggled with that a lot. not being able to do the things I wanted to do because I didn't have the energy, the fatigue. Pregnancy plus weight loss surgery is, guys, watch out for the video on that one. It's coming. And then one lesson that I learned is, again, the supremacy of God in our lives and the way that He designs the things that He wants to happen. Like He'd already done it, and we just step into the roles that have been cast for us. That's one lesson that I learned this year. A lot of things were out of my control this year. That's the truth. Things that I thought I could control, things like I didn't have control over happened. And then one thing I'm letting go of in this past year is I'm learning to forgive myself more. I think this is something that I'm working on permanently, like learning how to forgive myself, how to let things go. If I think that I have done something wrong, if it's to another person, I try to apologize. If it's not to another person, it's something that I think I've done wrong, I try to forgive myself and move on and do better next time. So in the end, I'm still a work in progress, So 2026, I'm gonna write my goals down. Maybe I should make a video telling you, no, I'm not going to tell you guys my 2026 goals. So that if it doesn't happen, I don't feel prayer. I don't need that prayer. Anyway, thank you for watching my video. If you have the time, let me know in the comments one thing that you thought you were going to do in 2025 that didn't happen, and one thing that you had no idea was going to happen but happened still. So have a nice day, guys. Thank you for watching.